Time now on the show for our weekend cover story. It is a big step in life that opens a world of challenges. That is choosing to become a parent. And now more single Australians are taking steps early to be prepared to become solo parents.
Yeah, like many women, TV personality Angie Kent is choosing to take on this journey, sharing her experience on the new season of Nine's Big Miracles. So for more, we are joined by Angie on the Gold Coast and also IVF specialist Dr. Kath Whitton here with us in studio. Thank you both for joining us.
Good to see you both.
Good morning.
Hey, Angie, first to you. This series, you're taking an incredible leap freezing your embryos. This is a tough decision. What led you to it?
Look, I knew I always wanted to be a mum. I just wasn't sure how that was going to look for me because I do have a lot of chronic invisible health conditions. So for future Angie, I was like, look, let's look into this now. And it ended up being the best decision I've ever made. I feel very, very blessed.
And as a solo parent, what's the decision-making like around that?
I believe that you can create your own family. There's none of this, have to wait for the one. I'm the one.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take matters into my own hands and be like, I can create my perfect modern family. I'm not saying that's going to be easy. I'm sure it's going to be quite the ride. I have a very supportive mum who I will be calling all the time. And yeah, it's going to be quite the journey, I'm sure.
You have such an amazing attitude towards this. It feels so positive coming down the line there. Can you tell me what was the most difficult thing? Was it choosing a sperm donor? I would have to imagine that would be pretty challenging.
I am one of the most indecisive people in all of Australia. I can't even choose what I want for breakfast, let alone picking a sperm donor. So let's just say production were probably a little bit like, come on, hurry it along, hurry it along. It was really hard. I really had to kind of like sit with it and get out of my head and really feel into what I wanted. Health was obviously a big thing, and just how I connected with the person's profile. And I thought, you know what, you would be like a best friend, and I would love to have a baby with that person. That's kind of how I ended up looking into it.
Oh, it's an amazing process.
Yeah.
Doctor, to you now, we're seeing more and more people, more and more Australians like Angie. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no rules, which I think is great. What should people like Angie be mindful of before making this great leap?
Yeah, good question. It certainly is something that we're seeing more and more commonly, certainly within my practice at IVFAustralia. We know that, there's over 100,000 fertility cycles that happen every year between Australia and New Zealand, and in 1/3 or more than 1/3 of those cases, we're seeing it with single women or women in same-sex female couples accessing this kind of service. The things to be mindful of really are that you really should be going through a reputable clinic so that you get good service, and checking your fertility early. That nobody regrets checking it early, but you can certainly run into the risk of regretting not checking it.
Because it can happen earlier than you think. I was 33 and found out that I had hardly any eggs left. I was lucky enough to fall pregnant naturally, but I was going on that journey to look at what my options are. I guess for women in their early 30s, though, there is this thing where we kind of think we can have it all these days, we can have a career, and we kind of put it on the backbench. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it is, but what I see, I'm really fortunate to be in a position where I'm talking to people all the time, single women and couples, and people are really well aware these days, I think, of that ticking biological clock, or the fact that fertility does just decline with age, unfortunately.
Angie, what about for you going through this process? I mean, there's plenty of women that both Clint and I know that are going through it or considering it. What do they need to know from your side of things? What advice would you impart on any Australian women thinking about, freezing their embryos and going on this journey?
I think for me, I would say there is so much information out there. Don't Dr. Google everything. Leave it up to the professionals. I've been so lucky I've cultivated such an amazing team for my health because I never understood my body for so long. Kath and the team at IVFAustralia are the best, especially if you are doing it alone. You don't feel alone with them there. I've just been so incredibly grateful for how supportive they've been. Lean on people if you want, but ultimately it's your decision, and you're not alone. You've got me. Slide into my DMs. We can all chat. Single mothers by choice. We've got to stick together.
Kath, Angie's journey, I mean, you must be incredibly proud of the decision she's come to, and right now, this is a huge thing that she's about to contemplate.
And she's doing it on telly.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. It's super brave, and we're so fortunate. We're so grateful for people like Angie who are bringing awareness to this whole side of
just
of
normalising the conversation as well.
Absolutely.
Angie, all the very best. How are you feeling right now?
Thank you. I'm excited. excited. I'm nervous. Obviously, it's such a massive, massive life-changing experience that's going to be coming up. I'm not pregnant yet, but let's just say watch this space.
That is a very good tease, and we are very excited to follow your journey, Angie.
Thank you.
And all of Australia can follow along. Don't miss Big Miracles this Wednesday on 9 and 9 Now after Married at First Sight. Angie, Dr. Kath, thank you so much for joining us.
Good stuff.